Hello epic viewers from around the multiverse, but bask in unprecedented glory because today I'm going to be elucidating why storage unit is worth every penny for an action figure collector. So why should you procure a storage unit if you're an avid devout action figure collector? Well, a storage unit will allow you to retain your prodigious action figure collection, and even though it may cost you anywhere from $100 to $300 a month, it warrants the price. It allows you to have peace of mind that you can retain a grandiose, lofty, sizable action figure collection without having to pay for a mortgage or keep them in your personal space that you rent. So you can essentially house your action figures for a fraction of the cost that it would cost you to house yourself, believe it or not. The storage unit that I plan on getting will cost me roughly 61 cents per square foot each month. So it culminates in being roughly $140 per month. And it is unfortunate that I'm going to have to pay for it in perpetuity until I can afford a mortgage. However, it is more reasonable to buy a storage unit, relegate your items to a storage unit than it otherwise would be to place them in a rental property that you are leasing and have to pay anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, because as you guys unequivocally know, a collection can encumber you and can impede you, and if you don't have the space to store it, then you're either going to need to get a storage unit or you're going to have to tolerate it invading your personal space, and you really don't want to be stifled. You really don't want to be inhibited from moving because your personal space is oversaturated with clutter. So for an action figure collector, a storage unit can be his greatest form of ecstasy. Am I exaggerating? No, I mean, if someone can retain thousands of nostalgic, ineffably epic, high quality figures for $100, $150, $200 a month, then it allows them to not only keep collecting, but have a place to put their stuff without it invading their personal space. A storage unit can be great as well. You can store any items you see fit in there. If you want to split the cost of a storage unit with a friend or family member, that may be another option for you. And it allows your stuff to be in a place where you know it's not going to get ravaged nor decimated by others who you live with. So if your stuff is locked in a storage unit, it's less likely that someone will vandalize your sacrosanct property. However, if you live with other people who are violent, who are savage, who are bestial, who don't respect other people's property, then it would behoove you to move your items to a storage unit, because vandalization can be detrimental, to say the least. And vandalization is a form of aggression. It's always done with ill will, malintent, and is sadistic, and it should be outlawed. Anything that encroaches on the non-aggression principle should be outlawed. And the non-aggression principle says you can do anything you want as long as you don't aggress against others or their property. Fortunately, I live with peaceful people, so I don't have to worry about anyone who I live with at the moment decimating my property. However, I do prefer if it is in a storage unit, so that I have more personal space. But if you do live with people who are reckless, relentless, and who don't respect other people's personal property, who are eminently aggressive, then it behooves you to put your stuff in a storage unit. And putting your stuff in a storage unit can also protect your items against the elements. I used to keep my action figures outside, and not only would they succumb to sun damage, but they succumb to water damage. Water would seep into the containers. My boxes outside would mold, and I couldn't store them inside, unfortunately, and I couldn't afford a storage unit at the time when I was in school full time. But now I work 3 jobs, and my time is allocated fully towards working. But I just think storage units are a great business model. You don't have any tenants if you own a storage facility, meaning people just lock their stuff in the unit, kind of like a giant locker, and your overhead costs are minimal. You just pay for the land, and if someone refuses to pay their bills, even though it is not the best course of action, and something that storage facility owners begrudgingly do, they can always auction off the contents of the unit to have their tenants pay back their debts, so storage unit owners can recover, or at least partially recover, their money that they lose from unpaying customers. I don't know if tenants is a correct word here, but it may be. But you get my drift. So enough prattling on and on. It's time to desist and end the video here. Just a storage unit is a great investment for an action figure collector, because it allows you to retain your collection, build your collection, keep your collection out of harm's way, and it allows your collection to not invade on your personal space. But of course, when you do get a lofty, sizable, massive basement, you want to display your figures and not have them consolidated together into a unit, because the whole point of a collection is to utilize it, and not for it to be obscured in a veil of darkness. So I hope that you found this video to be fascinating and insightful, as well as enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.